Welcome to a brand new week of a brand new month. It is Monday on Your View TVC. I am Tokwe Mark Odige, and I'm excited to be your host for today. Ladies are with me. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
Weekend was amazing.
You see, today is Monday. You have Ankara. Monday. I know it is House of BC, but please.
Can you stand?
Excuse me, please.
Educate us.
I am trying to ensure that we do not lose our culture because we are going Western. This is Ankara fabric, and it's done in a corporate outfit. I'm wearing a jumpsuit this morning, which you can also do in an English fabric. So from House of BC, we are presenting Ankara that you can wear them on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and dress down with English wears on Thursdays and Fridays.
Dress down.
I know you have a lot of shout outs, and
yes,
very
it's World
important
Day for me. Very important day.
Very.
You know, for all of us struggling to wear the hijab in the modern world, is more acceptable these days. People get comfortable with it, but back in the days, about 10 years ago, it was a struggle.
Wow.
I remember the size of the hijab was discussed at interviews that I attended. Even in university, the size of your skirt, the length of your skirt was an issue and all of that. But we thank God, we set aside this day for people who are not wearing the hijab.
Okay.
I didn't start. It started by someone in England, but it's become a global thing. So for people not wearing the hijab, it's special day for you to try the hijab.
I wish you had told me. I would have won, because I have two pictures of wearing hijab, and I love them, and I always reshare them every World Hijab Day. I think we need to increase tolerance.
My bestie is now used to it. Every 1st of February or 2nd of February, she wears her hijab, the ones that we use for my sister's wedding, in commemoration of the day. But I also have birthday shout-outs. It was Bolaji's mother's birthday on Friday. How I forgot. I'm telling you, I didn't know. Mommy Emma Binu, Igba ọdún ọdún kan, ẹ ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ birthday, ẹ jẹ wọn mọ́ pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́,
àlàáfíà health. Many more years in good health.
I'll go and try and get her in later. But Ola Awakon wants to do a 12 years anniversary. Congratulations to Mrs. Jacinta Mark Jacob. Her husband is Nigeria's foremost graphologist. He's Oladipupo Mark Jacob, and he's also shouting out to his wife, congratulating her, celebrating her for their 12th wedding anniversary. Yes.
Congratulations.
Where's the rest?
Where
are they now?
Let me rest. I'm trying to open WhatsApp to get them quickly.
Okay.
How are you doing this?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. I just wanted to share something, but I guess I'll leave it for tomorrow. I've already spoken to Miriam. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm great.
Oh yeah, so because I have big news, everybody is waiting. All right, so I do have big news. Today, 1st of February, on the 1st of January, I mentioned that I'll be going into real estate, that I personally will no longer be doing makeup, but my makeup business as an entity would continue, but I will no longer render makeup services because I wanted to embrace real estate full time. And all through January, I've been putting structures in place, and I'm happy on the 1st of February to launch Reb 360. So Reb 360 is my new business. It is Real Estate Business 360. Thank you so much.
So maybe I can partner with you now.
Yes, Real Estate Business 360, awesome. And so I'm really excited. Yes,
cheers.
Yes, my lawyer.
I have 2 clients now presently who are looking for properties for sale. But my property has to be diligently searched.
Exactly, and that's that. You see, the challenge is everybody is always talking about real estate and the challenges of real estate. And I told myself I would never want. I don't ever want to do with Omonile. I don't have the temperament to handle them. So every property is actually already documented with CFO, so that I don't have to interact with those
even
people.
With CFO, Omonile will visit you, except
it's in the next state.
Congratulations, then.
Thank you so much. Thank you. As in, it's been plenty work. I can just say that. I'm grateful to God that. Yes. Thank you, Mariam.
So, Bolaji's mother's name is Pastor Mrs. Maria Olawuyi.
Pastor Mrs. Maria Olawuyi. The entire team of Your View celebrates you. Happy birthday in Maria's.
Thank you for sharing your daughter with us.
Yes, she's been a wonderful producer to us on Your View. Well, with that banter, we'll be taking a quick break. When we return, we'll go through the newspapers. A lot has happened over the weekend, and we'll give you the details. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. It's front page, and we'll be starting off with The Nation. Ganduje is the major headline for today, and he's talking about ban open grazing to end farmers' herders clash. Federal government should make laws stopping movement of cattle from north to south. Herdsmen strike in Oyo communities. And in other news, we have how troops can finish off Boko Haram by Zulum. 2023, push for Jonathan intensifies. Third Mainland Bridge reopens. Zenith, most valuable banking brand. Nigeria equity rally at 1.2 trillion naira gain. Uncertainty as IGP Adamu retires today. Labour pushes for 40% reduction in electricity tariff. Foreign portfolio investment dropped to a 4-year low at 729 billion naira. So, starting off with the major headline, who has this story?
Yes, I do have that. So, the governor of Kano State, Governor Umar Ganduje, on a membership revalidation exercise at the weekend in Katsina, where he had gone accompanying the president, he, in talks with journalists, was answering questions about Ruga and herdsmen, farmers, clashes, and things like that. And he says that for him, he would like for there to be a ban on the movement of herdsmen from the north to the middle belt and to the south as well, and that this will help this will go a long way in curbing the herders farmers clashes, as well as cattle rustling that has really affected them, you know, a lot. And he also talked about Ruga settlement. He says that they're building a settlement in the Samsua forest. It's a border with Katsina, Kano and Katsina border, and he says they have lots of things there. They're building houses for these herders. They're constructing a dam, establishing cattle artificial insemination center, establishing a vet clinic, and you know they're already moving here. So they're already doing things like that. So it seems that the states are taking up the initiative to do this.
I have not been a fan of Ganduje, but let me just shame myself and commend him for this, because the initiative has been long overdue. He's been at it for long. I remember it included everything, all the value chain in cattle rearing down to the nitty-gritty in Kano. And he proposed it as a solution at the time when Ruga was a controversy in the country. I don't know why the farmers are not jumping at it. So he's proposing that the federal government makes a law that bans
yes,
so
the
that
movement.
I just state that farming is not strictly for, I mean, having cattle is not strictly for the northerners. People in the southwest have cattle. We have cattle in our farm in Ogbomoso, and we have herders that herd for us. So sometimes when we hear open grazing, we think it's only northerners that are open grazing in the southwest. A lot of southwesterners have cattle as well. So
there was an additional story, but I'll take it in the Vanguard. So let me just take the IG.
Oh yes, IGP
yes. So
is
the
retiring.
tenure of the IG of police is expiring today, 1st of February. He joined the force in 1986, 2nd of February, and he's done 35 years of active service in the police. He will be 60 also in September this year. Now, there are 3 Inspector General of Police and Assistant Inspectors General of Police as well. 10. Okay, so the deputy inspectors are 10, and the assistants are also 10, 3, which are due for retirement with him at the same time.
Yay,
now, the presidency hasn't said anything about, who is going to be the next Inspector General of Police. And there are stories around saying that they are foreseeing an extension, but that will negate the act of the Police Reform Act of 2020.
And if they did it with the military, they shouldn't be doing this.
So we expect the presidency to tell us at least who he has in mind for this particular position.
Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune, major headline. Boko Haram strikes as new service chiefs visit Maiduguri. Governor wants stronger ties with Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. And in other news, anxiety as UAE declares Nigerians must travel directly to Dubai, which limits the number of airlines you can use. As schools resume in Edo, NUT insists on strike, tells parents to keep children away. Makinde, CP, others top security officers visit Ibarapa. APC membership registration, discordant tunes as exercise begins nationwide on Tuesday. Massive smuggling puts 3.4 trillion naira rice investment in jeopardy. Processors are saying they want foreign rice display criminalized. Kano governor calls for legislation to ban of north to south cattle movement. COVID-19, wear mask to avert lockdown, presidency warns. And Kogi State releases 3.98 billion naira for road projects. So let's talk about it's really like
so they are
please your business.
Yes, so the Director General of the Rice Processors Association of Nigeria is raising alarm that we're starting to lose about 3.4 trillion investments in rice this year because of the border opening. There's so much smuggling and flagrant display of foreign rice around, and this affects the market for them. From about 7 mills in the country at the time when the border was blocked, they now have over 60
so a lot of money, 3.4 trillion has been invested in rice processing by Nigerians, and yet we still have open market sale of foreign rice. And so it's as if it's contradicting what we're saying.
In order for us not to lose the gains that we made during the closure, we must regulate the influx of those rice in our market and the consumption of it within our country. The standard of the rice must be held safe.
We might not regulate consumption, but we might penalize anybody reselling. If there are penalties for those reselling the rice, then they shouldn't sell.
The quality of products our people will buy and eat. Okay. Health-wise, we must make sure it's safe.
Why are Nigerians choosing to eat the foreign rice over local rice?
That's a full topic. Let's talk about anxiety as UAE declares Nigeria must travel through.
So the United Arab Emirates has sent out a circular to different airlines and countries and saying that all the passengers coming to Dubai from Nigeria must take a direct flight from Dubai to Nigeria. They shouldn't go through other countries.
Any particular reason for that?
Yes. Well, what they say is that they're giving recommendations for coming into Dubai from Nigeria is that all passengers are required to obtain a negative COVID-19 certificate. The PCR should be conducted within 72 hours of the date of departure. And all passengers are required to conduct a rapid and obtain negative within 4 hours of their departure. And I guess, of course, the reason would be maybe our growing numbers of COVID-19 infection in our country.
I understand. So,
but some experts are saying they're trying to have monopoly so that only Emirates is the one, bringing in passengers.
So what's happening in those states?
Yes. So the Nigerian Union of Teachers Edo chapter are going on an indefinite strike. They have appealed to parents to keep their wards at home. I know there was a no work, no pay policy that was issued by the Edo government, and they're saying that it doesn't affect them. They need to be paid properly. One of the things that they are asking for is that they pay them every 27th of every month, and also their arrears, promotion arrears from 2013 to 2015 that hasn't been paid, that they are requesting that the government pays them before they go back to work.
I saw the governor of those states exclaim about hosting the games, basing it on being broke as a state, that they can't fund it. So I think the state is broke.
I want to quickly take the story of what's happening in Ibarakwa. There's major insecurity going on there, and the governor just visited. People have complained that the governor hadn't visited the entire area, visited that area, and so he visited yesterday, Sunday, with the Commissioner of Police for your state and a few other security apparatus. But moving on quickly to Vanguard, major headline. Farmer-header conflict. Law to ban moving cattle from north to south needed from Ganduje. Wearing face masks now compulsory in Lagos. Offenders face 6 months in jail. Wear your mask, guys. COVID-19, Osun records 5 cases of UK strain. That's currently the deadliest strain we have. Imo government, IPOP battle over ban on open grazing in the southeast. Can we quickly take the stories?
I'm taking Oshogbo. The Commissioner for Information and Civic Orientation, Funke Egbemode, is warning citizens to take proper precautions, follow the protocols in preventing infection of COVID-19, because in just a week after it was announced that the new strain from the UK is in Nigeria, they had 5 cases in Oshogbo alone, and so they're asking, please wear your mask, follow the regular protocol, and protect yourself.
IPOP story.
Yes.
No, she just wanted to. Okay.
To the COVID story.
Okay.
Wanted to ask COVID story. Okay. So the leader of IPOP, Nnamdi Kanu, has appealed to southeastern governors to ban open grazing, just like their counterparts in other states have done, and they are saying that they are giving them a 14-day ultimatum. But the Imo governor is also saying that hope Uzodima, I think, yes, is arguing that it's not his business. He doesn't have a right to give them an ultimatum. They are looking into it, and they would, take the right decisions at their discretion. So he shouldn't, because he has said, IPOB has said that if they don't do that after 14 days, he's going to get the Eastern Security Network to start fishing out every header in the city.
So I guess that explains what we're talking about, where one person in another place cannot give people ultimatum and not expect some other group of people in another area to do the same.
Moving on quickly to Daily Sun, the headline, Lagos threatened actions against event centers, other COVID-19 protocol violators. You want to take that story quickly? Okay,
so Lagos, of course, as you know, they are speaking against the continuous abuse of the COVID-19 guidelines by event centers. So it's 50% capacity of per hall is what is regulated in Lagos, and they've said that the law signed by the president last week would be, used in punishing these crimes. In the same vein, the president is also, through his spokesperson, Garba Shehu, is asking people to wear the face mask, or that will force us into another lockdown, to avoid another lockdown. But the same president had a launch at the APC, whatever, and maybe they have their vaccine already taken. I'm just saying, I say maybe now.
I say maybe. Of him surrounded by everyone with
and they masks. Totally disregarded the guidelines. So
the PTF guideline.
Yes, the PTF guideline. But I must commend Lagos State so far in trying to, for their continuous, awareness against it. Even though people are not complying, they're still doing their job.
I actually wanted to say yesterday where I went for the first time, everybody had their masks on. So I thought maybe they had seen this 6 months prison sentence.
So that's all we can take for front page review for today. Please remember, Lagos State to send people that don't wear their nose masks open outside to 6 months jail term. So wear your nose mask. Wear your nose mask. When we return, we'll be discussing the Petroleum Industry Bill. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Help, enforcement challenges, plight.
Thanks for staying with us. Since crude oil was discovered in Nigeria in the late 50s, it has been recently dominated our economy to the point of 90% of our export revenue comes from crude oil. We have the largest oil and gas reserve in sub-Saharan Africa, yet for decades, the virtually ungovernable industry has been plagued with inept leadership. Joining us on the show is Honorable Musa Sarakin Hada, Chairman, House Committee Representative on Petroleum Resources Upstream. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to hear from you. So, the challenge with the Petroleum Industry Bill, which was first introduced in 2008, has been the fact that we've been unable to conclusively pass it. Each successive government have been working on it. They've documented it. They've shredded it. They've broken it into the PIG bill, and yet we still don't have a comprehensive petroleum industry bill passed. What would you say has caused the delay so far?
The cause of delay, are you ready with me?
Yes, we are with you, sir.
I can hear you.
The cause of delay might be due to so many factors of various interests are conflicting. Interest of the business people in the petroleum industry and the interest of some people within the government. Now, having said all this, we are where we are today. And the current government, from the executive to the legislature, we are all committed towards passing the petroleum industry bill, so that the industry would be fully regulated under a law that is known by everybody and in a transparent manner. Are you with me?
Yes, we're with you, sir.
Yes, over the years, the petroleum industry has been governed by a very archaic, very outdated law. Remember, since 1963, when oil discovery and exploration started in Nigeria, there have been only one law known as Petroleum Act. Since then, there has not been any amendment to this act, and this season, major oil players in the oil industry, such as the IOCs, have been clamoring for a standard law that is in tune with the standard practice all over the globe. And since 2000, when the past PIB was presented to National Assembly, one reason or the other, one factor or the other kept on coming up, and as such, it was not passed. And even when it was broken into segments, when the government side was, the government sector was passed by the National Assembly, and it was taken to the presidency for signing, due to conflict of interest between the executive and the legislature, then it did not materialize. However, now we have one form of petroleum industry bill. It has come to the National Assembly. It has passed the first and second reading. It is now at the public hearing, and we have concluded the public hearing last week for the Senate and the House of Representatives. And immediately we resume, we'll continue, the ad hoc committee set off, will continue to work on it and compile a report which will be presented to the National Assembly, the two chambers, both the Senate and the House, and expectedly, before the end of this first quarter, the bill will be passed to third reading, and it will be communicated to the President for his assent. And we hope and we have strong feeling and confidence that this time around it will be passed and it will be signed by the President. Then the whole braha within the petroleum industry has come to an end, and Nigeria will move forward and will add what we expect to get from our resources.
So this bill has been proposed to solve all issues surrounding, drilling and refining of oil and the communities and all of that. But my problem, my own major concern is the environment. How does this bill deal with, oil spillage, cleaning, and compensation to damaged communities, and restoration of our of those communities, the environment to the right standard that it should be internationally?
You see, there's a whole section dedicated to the development of the host community. And this host community now has been conceptualized in such a way that the host community will have much relevance in the governing of the funds earmarked for the development of those areas, the immediate host communities. Not the oil producing states, the immediate host communities. And the funds are coming from the budget of the oil producers, both local companies and international companies, all of them that are operating in a particular community. Certain percentage, about 2.5% of their operating cost, annual budget operating cost, will be dedicated to the development of such community where an oil well
that's not the question.
is
Sir,
being operated.
that's not my question, sir.
And funds, hold on.
Okay.
The funds will be managed by the host communities themselves. Okay. A committee will be set off by the host community and the government. But the committee will be led by the host communities. They are the one that will determine what should be done with the funds meant for their community. Mm-hmm. And in that, we expect that the most immediate cogent problems will be, the funds will be utilized to overcome those immediate problems, such as what you are talking about, the oil degradation, the environmental degradation, usually caused by oil spillage. In the past, this money were concentrated in the NDDC. And even NDDC, the idea is to take care of the problems caused to the oil communities, oil producing areas. But as what this country turned to be, because of corrupt nature of some of us, that money were not being utilized properly. And still there's agitation and complaint by the host communities. That's why this time around, the concept of the host communities is they will have their monies, they will have their, what we can call trustees, utilize their funds.
Honorable Musa, the question was specifically about the spillage that had already taken place within the area.
No.
The oil
continuous spillage, as long as it's continuous.
Yes.
He has answered it. But I'm wondering, sir, this is a technical matter.
Thank you.
It's not something for novices to handle. Restoring, degraded environment, cleaning up oil spillage across the world is not something for anybody for host communities to handle. I would expect that the section would provide, you know, a collaboration between the oil companies and them, and payment of proper, you know, certified people to restore, to clean up. You know, handling it to community people will take forever.
Oh, not.
If you can listen to me, if you can listen to me, if you can listen to me, can you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you.
I said, if you can listen to me, everything that is supposed to be done for environmental spillage, to overcome it, you need funds. A provision is made for adequate funding to take care of the challenges of the host communities. If the environmental issue is considered to be more important and is going to be a cogent problem within the whole community, the monies that they are going to aggregate from the oil companies is part of infrastructure development. These funds are segmented into provision of infrastructure, employment, and social welfare of the whole entire community. So what I was trying to tell you earlier is, and this bill, don't forget, is still being processed. We have taken and received memorandum from various communities, from civil societies, from journalists like you, from all members of the public. I am sure we have received more than 100 memorandum. We are yet to start analyzing these memorandums, and I believe among those referendums, there are those environmentally concerned associations or group of people that must have brought in the concern of the environment. And before we process it, if anything is captured specifically, that's the need for a provision on environment alone.
Okay, let me get one question in for you, sir.
Okay, sir, in addition to, since we're already talking about the host communities, we saw what happened the last time they had a meeting, and they were requesting for 10% as against the 2.5% that are being paid. Now, what's your solution to that? Is there going to be an increment for them, for the host communities now?
Agitations.
We can hear you, sir.
Request for 10% or any percent is a legitimate desire of a person or of a community. But remember, in the natural way of living, you must not get everything at one time.
Okay.
If the demand for 10%, and if we as members of the parliament who are processing the bill look at their demand and look at what the government provided, 245%, and consider that 245% to be sufficient enough for now to take care of all the problems that we are trying to overcome, the 245% will remain. And don't forget, they have members of their areas within us. It's a lawmaking, it's a federal structure, every state, every community, is represented adequately, and we engage among ourselves, and at the end of the day, the majority will carry their way.
Okay, sir, we'll take a quick break.
Of course, like I've said, agitations are allowed, but you must not get what you agitated immediately. You agitate for it and at any time. However, we'll try as much as possible to make sure we bring in what is supposed to be and what can bring peace within the area.
Okay, I'm happy you're focusing on
10% should arise.
All right, I'm happy you're sir.
They have gotten concern much more than the previous arrangements.
Okay.
In the previous arrangements, there was no specific amount of money earmarked for host communities.
Okay. So I'm happy that you're focusing on peace. We'll take a quick break. When we return, Mariam would ask you a question. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
All right, thanks for staying with us. So Mariam had a question for Honorable Musa.
Okay, so given... he on
Go
there?
ahead.
Okay, sir. So given the fact that it's taking quite a number of years to get to where we are with the bill right now, and just after the altercation that happened at the public hearing, how confident are you that this bill will be passed this year? I don't think he heard me.
The altercations that happened during the public hearing will not and cannot in any way affect the process of the passage of the PIB by the National Assembly. Remember, there was no member of the parliament that was involved in the fracas that happened there. It was among the host community representatives. They come from different communities and different villages representing their interest groups, and they had some misunderstanding among themselves there, or who shall present on behalf of each other, and they could not reconcile. And when they are called often, I think all of them attempted to raise off, and as such, the scuffle started. That will not affect the PIB in any way.
So we're confident it will be passed this year?
That we are confident the PIB will be passed as at when do, like I have said much earlier, the National Assembly leadership and all of us, members of other committees and all the members of National Assembly are committed to passing the Petroleum Industry Bill before the end of the first quarter. And God grace.
Okay,
As
I like the
told
sound.
you, we have completed the public hearing now. What remains for us is to go into analysis of the outcome of the public hearing. That is the memorandum that we have received, both in writing and those that have made presentations during the public hearing. And from that, we'll compile our report, which we will lay before the two chambers. Immediately we resume from the recess. And definitely for April, the PIB passed.
Okay, sir, I'm happy that there seems to be a definite drive towards passing this bill. You're saying hopefully within the first quarter of 2021. I have two questions. One, when was the last time you visited any of the host communities? Because as a chairman of the Committee on Petroleum Industry, I would expect that you have on-site real-time value of the impacts of the oil exploration on these communities. So I'd like to know, when was the last time you visited any of this community, number one? And number two, as the chairman, what do you hope to achieve with this bill? What are the things you are envisioning would happen when this bill gets passed?
What we are envisioning.
I'm listening to you, sir. We can hear you.
What we are envisioning with the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill is, first, there will be transparency in the management of the oil process, of all the resource proceeds. Second, we hope it will also give us chance to increase the volume of our exploration and production of the petroleum resources, both petroleum and gas. Because as of now, there are so many challenges by the oil producers. They are limited by the law. They cannot produce beyond what is allocated to them as of now. And like we have said many times ago, remember the oil relevance in the world is coming to the gradual phasing out because of the renewable energies. So we need to, as quick as possible, to explore whatever we could within the shortest possible time of our resources before it becomes entirely phased out from energy demand. Of course, there's about 30-40 years that we are hoping the oil will continue to be relevant in the energy sector. But since efforts are being made and good results are being achieved by the energy consumers and energy producers, all the energy going to the wind, going to the solar, going to so many other oil options and energy options, then we need to wake up. And don't forget, before now, Nigeria was among the only 4 African countries that were exporting oil from 1970s up to the end of early 2000. But as of today, more than 15 African countries are producing and exporting oil outside the shore of their countries.
Okay, sir. You didn't answer. Sir, You didn't answer the first question. When was the last time you visited any of the host communities?
I'm coming to that.
All right.
Listen to me. So these are all what will indicate to us the challenges we are having in the Niger Delta region by the host communities attacking all workers, attacking all installations, all that have reduced what we could have export or produce within a certain on daily basis and on yearly basis. So that's why now, when the bill is being drafted, the authors of the bill consider it wise to come up with a special provision for the host communities. Then, as for my side, as chairman of the Petroleum Upstream, until today, I have not visited any host community, because immediately after we were inaugurated in October 2019, we rolled out our program of the visit of all the agencies under the purview of the Petroleum Upstream. That is the NNPC itself, the MPDC, which has more dealings with the host communities. And by December, we sent out this request to the NNPC to make arrangement for us to go and familiarize ourselves with their functions, with their activities, and we expected they would take us to the host communities where oil is being produced. Unfortunately, by December of that year, the COVID-19 came up and the country was shut down, especially the oil industry entirely. They shut down their operations. They limited their operations. Even their staff were allowed passage only after you quarantine for 2 weeks, before you are allowed to even visit your office and before you go to your duty post. And they are doing it on shift basis. And we continued waiting. So it is now that we are hoping, first, the ad hoc committee will go and visit some of the oil host communities. Then the committee on the petrol upstream, since now the lockdown is being eased gradually, will also go and on the entire proliferation visit of all the oil installations under the purview of the Petroleum Committee on
Thank you, sir. We're running out of time on the show. I want to take in 2 more new questions for you quickly.
So you're planning a scheduled visit. It's okay. But you said something very important, and we know that one of the major clogs in the wheel of exploration is vandalization. How does this bill take care of, securing infrastructure within the communities and, prevention of continuous vandalization of their of all products?
It is the provision of the host committee does not provide only giving them funds. It also gives them responsibility of securing.
Yeah.
I said the provision. The provision which established the host community funding also give responsibility to the host community to secure all the oil installations within their immediate environment.
What will be the failure of the community? What will be the consequence of failure?
If there are...
Can you hear me, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I am saying the provision of the host community does not end only at the funding.
Yes,
when you are being given the fund to take care of your immediate requirements and your immediate demand to develop your area, you are also given challenge of responsibility to secure the oil installations within your domain. So if there's any vandalization of any oil pipeline or any installation in a particular community, that community will be penalized. The funds meant for them will
not
be
get
used to go and repair the damages incurred within that environment.
Okay, that sounds nice.
So I just wanted to also ask, every time, of course, you talk about petroleum industry, very big name that is there is NNPC. Given this new bill, what is the role that NNPC will be playing now, given, rumors and allegation of corruption, monies earned, revenues earned that have not been properly remitted to government. So what role will NNPC play right now, and also as regards with refineries?
Yes, what's happening with our
redundant refineries?
Please, we'd like you to answer in like a minute, sir. Are you with us? Sir, did you hear the question, sir?
I have expected this question to come much earlier before now. The first question you should ask me. The NNPC is now going to be a fully commercialized, government-owned company.
Okay.
And it will operate and work like any other company you know in the world.
Okay.
It will be capitalized on behalf of all Nigerians.
Okay.
And it will be managed on behalf of all Nigerians.
And the corruption there?
When it comes now, let me finish. As of now, NNPC is playing dual role. It is a company that produces and manages the assets and resources of this country. At the same time, it acts like a regulator. In this bill, a regulator is going to be established in a form of a commission.
Okay.
Then that regulator will regulate the NNPC and all the oil companies. And all the oil companies, including local and foreign oil companies operating in Nigeria.
Okay.
NNPC will be fully governed and regulated. It will obtain licenses like every other. It will be given certain blocks that it will manage on behalf of the Nigerian government, and it will pay all the dues that are supposed to be paid by anybody who apply and who want to acquire an oil acreage or an oil block.
It was really
so good. It is expected the NNPC, the new NNPC that's going to be established as NNPC Limited, will be more effective in the management of the resources, and it will be more transparent. And expectedly, the corruption that people are accusing the NNPC of will be reduced and gradually it will be eased out.
Wow. Okay. I'm looking forward to all of these plans you've said being fully implemented. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We have been talking to Honorable Musa Sakinada, that is the chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream. Thank you so much for your contributions. We hope to bring you back soon, and hopefully we'll be celebrating the passage of this bill finally. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we go into other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Moving on to something equally serious. It's the COVID-19 that is still with us. We're still in the pandemic, and the presidency has said that you wear nose mask or we risk another lockdown. Also, Lagos State government has said that if you don't wear your nose mask and you're caught outside, you are at risk of going to 6 months jail term. So, I want to hear from you through Twitter. What are your reservations against nose mask for those of you that are now wearing, and how you're supporting nose masks? So, tweet at us at TVC, hashtag Your View. Would love to hear from you. And I want to start with BC. Obiajulu.
No, before BC starts, I find it so uncomfortable when I hear people say nose mask, because I just imagine a little thing around the nose.
Face mask.
I prefer to say face mask. That's me. I'm just wondering how you... Yes.
But that's why people now put it under their chin.
Chin mask.
So what has your experience been with...
Okay, so I took my kids out on Saturday, and when we got there, I realized before you enter, you must have your nose mask on, you must use your sanitizers. When we got into the game place, everybody, even a little baby, everybody had the nose mask. Oh. I knew that they had started taking it very, very serious. The waiters, everybody attending, it was a safe environment for people to, have fun. And I was impressed, because I know that people now understand that this second strain, it's very, very serious. We've had a couple of deaths around us, and it's just in a few days, you just hear that this person caught it, and the next thing, the person has died. So I think people are becoming more responsible. And I like the fact that, I don't like the fact that there's a jail term attached. I would have preferred a fine or something, but I like the fact that everybody's taking responsibility. The government is taking responsibility. They don't want to have another lockdown. Our economy cannot survive another lockdown. So if you don't want to use your head, the government will force you to use your head.
Say it again, that economy side.
Yes,
say it again.
Our economy economy cannot afford, we cannot afford to go under a lockdown again. People have lost jobs. They're just businesses are just trying to find their feet. Me that I'm selling, I've not sold anything later at all. So it's not easy for us to go home again. We don't want to go home. So whatever it takes for us to go out there and do our work. And I also believe that we don't know how long this COVID-19 is going to last. We need to start learning to live with it. What if it's here for another 5 years? We can't shut down schools and everybody will stay at home for 5 years. We need to start working side by side till we can beat this COVID-19.
With all the rules, complying with all the, Mariam, I know that you've been very, very careful. I'm even happy that you're a bit calmer now. You see, when this thing started, Mariam was paranoid. She was paranoid. She
frustrated us.
Everything, she's very, yes. And you've gone through the spectrum of relaxing a bit when everybody relaxed. How are you getting back into the space of being careful, knowing that there is a new strain and it's a deadly strain and it is now in Nigeria?
I've definitely relaxed, and then so much so that I'm unable to get back to that space that I was in the beginning. For some reason, I don't know, I feel like I'm able to still follow the protocols without the anxiety.
Okay, that's good.
And I think it's because at the first time when it happened, it was an unknown. Like, you know, all we heard were numbers all the way from China and America. We're just hearing numbers. People are falling on the ground. So, you know, I had the image of you be standing on the queue and then you fall off, you know. But now that we see that, we understand that the protocols can help. We understand that there's some, for those who get to go to the centers, for those who are lucky, for those who are, you know, sort of healthy, they're able to come out of it. If you're able to get oxygen, you get out of it. I'm also happy that we have started a conversation on vaccines. I know that there are many people who have doubts and they are questioning. Yes, so people are questioning. Yes, I will take. People are questioning, you know, why they should take it, where it is from, and who we should trust. And for me, I believe that from what I have seen, from what I hear on international television, from what people, I know people who live abroad who have taken it. I know people who have gone to Dubai who have taken it. And they have taken the first dose and they're on their second dose. And, you know, we listen to them and hear the sort of feedback, no reactions.
Wow.
You know, they're still doing well.
Mariam, I need to address this shaking video. There are videos on social media, on Instagram, like, and then
your
it's like
involuntary. Your feet, and your feet turn to your hand.
Please, those videos are not real, honestly. Like 90% of those videos, they are videos of people having involuntary jerking after taking the vaccines. They are jokes. Nobody puts a camera and jerks in front of the camera, like it's a deliberate thing. And I don't know why they're spreading this thing, because I've also had people that have taken the vaccines and they've had no report of any negative side effects.
Wow, no deaths.
No deaths from taking the vaccine. So I think that those videos, they're trivializing a major issue.
Thank you.
And COVID-19 is a major issue. Too many people have died from COVID-19 for us to be creating content that would make people scared of taking the vaccines. So, but Nima, for me, I want to ask you, because you've gone through this cycle, you've gone through COVID and you've come out of it. And I've had conversations with people like you who feel like, I have antibodies, I'm good. I can go to party and nobody knows me because I have antibodies. So are you in that space?
Abi, should I take the
No, I'm not saying you should stay.
Because I've not thought about it. I already have the antibodies. So, but you know the funny thing? I usually, when I drive in my car and I don't help people anymore. In the past, when I used to drive to work, I must have at least 3-4 people that I help to work, especially military men. But these days, I just see them and because, of course, there's COVID. I feel guilty, but I now started trying to wear my mask, you know, even in my car. I feel very comfortable wearing it. If you really put your mind to it, it's a comfortable piece of
protection.
No, not protection.
Outfit.
It's part of
style and fashion.
It's not like my hijab. Yes.
Yeah.
So on Saturday, I went out in public transport. On my way, I noticed everybody had their face mask on. Somebody wearing it. Some people, for them, was chin mask, but they all had their mask in some form. On my way back, myself and my sister were the only ones in the public transport with our face mask on.
Okay, so you when you were going, they had the mask.
Yes.
When you were coming, people in public transport didn't have their mask.
There was no spacing. Whoa. We all sat gummed up, and I couldn't drive to Badagry. There's no way I would drive to Badagry. So I had to do public transport. I was going to bike all the way, but then God want me because I
Bike
love
all the way to
biking.
Badagry.
Now what for you?
I bike all the way to Elegushi from my house.
Jeez.
Nima, on national
biking.
television, please. But the truth is, I've done that. I used to feel very comfortable taking bikes around.
To Badagry.
Yeah, all the,
So there's a
like
nice
I've done
feeling
from
to it.
mile 2 to VI. I've done from mile 2.
I'm going to buy a bike very soon.
Wow.
But let's get back to the topic.
But the topic,
the
so I wore
topic
the
is
mask,
mask.
and on my way back, we're the only 2 people wearing it in the car. And usually when I'm in public transport, I wear the mask and my glasses so that I protect my eyes as well. I had that anxiety Miriam had, so myself and my husband struggled. Usually can't stand glasses. So whatever I'm just saying that whatever extent you have to go now,
To
please
protect
feel
Who
free
you need to
go.
become.
The discomfort I had earlier before I had COVID, the discomfort no dey again.
It
Now
don't
my
disappear,
glasses
no.
can sit on my face for longer. Usually when I wear my glasses, I take them off, I clean my nose, I get uncomfortable, I can't even stand
But the
it.
thing now is,
But now
Nima,
I'm very
people need to
comfortable,
know
conforming.
that people can have COVID and still recontact COVID.
Yes, that's right.
People
Again,
can recontact
The promotion,
COVID.
you know when YK sits and she's shouting continuous jingles, sensitization, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Personally, I've been looking out for jingles to talk about what is the fate of those of us
Like
who
that you went
survived
had it
COVID.
before.
You know, on this new strain, what is exactly going to
Okay,
happen?
like there should
There's
be
no-
series done by the
Yes,
government that they
yeah.
will sponsor
May
on social
Because
media. I think TVC
aside
can do it
the
independently.
fear-
Because we have like 3 people in TVC that have survived
Yes.
COVID and they could do short interviews and post it in between
But
programs to
aside
generate.
the fear of what you've experienced happening to you again, nothing is being done by government to talk to those people, to those group of people.
Survived.
But wearing your face mask for myself and my kids is suddenly a fashion, so it's something that we get comfortable with. I just want to talk about it for those people thinking it's a very discomforting piece of attachment to you.
It is discomforting,
No,
but we must do it.
no,
I find
it's
it
a
very
very
uncomfortable.
comfortable. Actually, maybe it's the cloth
We have
mask you're wearing.
Or depending on the mask you're
Yeah,
wearing,
so
actually.
I found some masks very uncomfortable, but I've gotten one recently, and I actually could breathe
Very
through
easy.
it. It was
So for those
fine.
of us in the
We need to
hijab, there are
search.
new ones now that you put on your pin over your
Dressy.
because usually it's tearing on your ears, so you can wear it. But I still wear the one tearing on my ears. I just simply know how to adjust them.
Yeah.
So
I find the disposable ones more comfortable
Yes.
than the cloth ones. But, you know, talking about sensitization, I was watching a documentary recently on how China propagated that their one child per family thing. And it said that the way they did it is that everything you carried, everything you used, everywhere you looked, you would see a picture, you would have
so in your
a
face.
sound. Yes, it was constantly on your face, on a matchbox, and I think that that's what government should do. I'm saying this, maybe government does not understand the level of sensitization we're saying, you know, that we need to enforce. So is you get to buy cups, you see messages about COVID-19 and wearing your nose mask and following the protocol.
All the BLT buses
You have
should carry
matches.
it. We
There's
should.
nothing wrong with the drinks, soft drinks companies.
Also putting it
Put it on the
labels.
crowns, yes, on top of the bottles, on the crowns of the bottles, everywhere, just so that it's constantly in your face.
I like this
There was
idea.
something else also you said about being in Dubai, where masks were just handed out.
Oh,
over
please.
and over
Yeah,
and
let me
over.
just say this. I
Yeah.
went to an hotel, and this hotel, I tagged the hotel on Instagram. I did not mention this story. So if you don't want to know the hotel, I got to the hotel and I had gotten down from the car and walked up to the hotel door. I realized my nose mask was not under my chin. I probably had removed it and it was in the car. I told them, my nose mask is in the car. Can you give me one? They said it was 500 naira.
Where? In Dubai?
No, in Lagos.
Oh.
And I said, I just
they
came back from
sell
Dubai.
here.
Everywhere I went to, supermarkets, every corner, they would give you are coming to the hotel, they will give you nose mask. Like, they were giving it away because they
they
understood
produce
that it was important for everybody to be masked up. And it was an hotel, a big hotel on the island, and they were selling nose mask at 500, which for me was extremely inflated.
Of course it was.
So I think that this awareness needs to go viral everywhere over and over again. And that's why we're discussing it on a Monday on the
we
show.
also need to be ready to support everybody. So I normally would have nose mask packs in my car. So if you're around me and you don't have it, I just hand it over to you. So people who are okay, who can afford to have packs in their car, please have, so you can support. Organizations should have, so that in case you don't have your nose mask, they can hand it. They don't need to sell it to you. They can hand it to, we have very cheap ones. The pack ones, I saw them for 1,008 something. That's like 50. How much is, if you divide that, you know, the mathematicians in the house, you know, so you can actually get that and support. So it's
Let
going
the
to be
people begging masks not come
a
and abuse
corporate
it.
responsibility. Everybody should do what they can to ensure that we all protect ourselves.
Once again, I want to reiterate the presidency has said that if we don't wear nose mask and curb the spread of COVID, we are likely to have another lockdown.
We don't want it.
Our economy cannot survive.
We can't survive.
Even they, I'm saying it boldly here, no, they're not serious about that statement. But what happened over the weekend from the presidency, lip service is what they're paying. Let's take tweets. Andrew says he will send us a pill manufactured in India for $3 per pill that wipes out COVID.
Wow.
I've told you I'm holding into it. And John Jibogus has addressed me, says, COVID antibodies last 6 months if you've had COVID.
5 to 6 months.
So it's no guarantee of immunity. Continue using your mask. Bumi Ibikunle says, can you please remove this flash content and promoting domestic violence against women? Yes, I would talk to that with TVC. The slaps, yes. Festus Akimboyewa says, government should focus on enforcing the existing regulations and make it difficult for people to use their creativeness to breach the regulations. Talking about the crankling.
I agree.
Yes, and I want to also say that there is this thing about everybody is made compulsory to use their mask, but they pull the mask beneath their nose. So at the end of the day, when you sneeze, it still goes out. You are still inhaling infected. So when you put, your mask is not to protect your mouth, it's to protect your face. So you cover your nose, your mouth.
That's why the disposable ones are perfect.
Make a case for those that you see, people that you see walking on the road and they'll have their mask on their chin. Let me just make a case for that, because I remember there was one time when I was doing a job and I had to do a lot, especially it was the first lockdown. So there wasn't enough transport. So I had to walk to a lot of places, and I understood that when you have your mask and you're walking long distance, after a while, you know, you'll be out of breath. So I can understand why you see people, but those people are, so they are alone, and then there's enough space between them and the next pedestrian. So I can understand that, because we tend to look at people, how come they are walking and they have
when I exercise, I don't wear the mask on my nose either, but I'm not close to anybody.
I don't wear mask when I'm within family and friends, or you're going for your evening stroll. There's no point. You can hold on to it when you need to converse with somebody, or once you're entering into any public place.
So any place that is enclosed, where you're breathing the same air, you should have nose mask. If you can't have nose mask, you should have social distancing, which is why even right here on the show, you can see my hand can't reach where my arm is. So we spread ourselves to ensure that
I'd love to slap Tobiajulu, but
we're doing our best. We are doing our best, and I must keep on saying that we all should take responsibility. Each one to tell another. When you see someone not wearing the mask, just tell them, pull it up.
Let's do what BC says.
Just carry mask.
And if you have mask, give the mask. That was my experience in Dubai. Everywhere I went to, they were giving me and they were reminding me
to wear it.
Because sometimes they would even fall off. Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. So that we are all consciously raising this awareness
and
together.
Let's try not to reuse disposable masks.
No, not at all.
Please. Bishop, please don't borrow. I've seen at banks where people are asking, just borrow me, make I enter.
You're joking.
Please, when you get to the bank, they should carry their pen too.
The banks can afford disposable masks. Let your security have them
and hand over.
To make sure asking people to go and buy and making people have to borrow from people. Two people said, okay, it's my neighbor's son, I borrow him. We should go. I swear to God. I saw that.
On that note, thank you all for watching the show. I'm sure you enjoyed it. Please, please, please wear your nose mask, and most importantly, encourage other people around you to wear their nose mask. Also, give it away. See you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
I swear.